From Washington, this is VOA News. I'm David Forrest reporting aid reaches Yemen. The International Committee of the Red Cross says a plane carrying medical personnel has landed in the Yemeni capital Sana'a. At the same time, the Red Cross is warning of a catastrophic situation in the Yemeni city of Aden. According to the World Health Organization, more than 540 people have been killed and 1,700 wounded in the fighting in Yemen over the past 3 weeks. The Red Cross said Monday it has not yet been able to deliver tons of medical supplies to Yemen due to logistical concerns about flying into a war zone. U.S. Senator Rand Paul has announced he is seeking the Republican nomination for president in 2016. The 52-year-old libertarian announced his candidacy to cheering supporters in Kentucky, where he is a first-term senator. Paul, an ophthalmologist by profession, said he wants to, quoting now, return our country to the principles of liberty and unlimited government.
At home, conservatives understand that government is the problem, not the solution. Conservatives should not succumb, though, to the notion that a government inept at home will somehow succeed in building nations abroad.
Paul is the second announced Republican presidential candidate after another conservative first-term lawmaker, Senator Ted Cruz from Texas. Kenyans gathered for a vigil Tuesday, the final day of a 3-day mourning period for those killed in last week's massacre at Garissa University College. The demonstrators gathered at a public park in Nairobi to share remembrances of the 148 students killed and to call for greater national security in the nation of Kenya. This is VOA News. The human rights group Amnesty International says the Afghan government is doing nothing to stop violence against women in the country. Amnesty Tuesday released a report titled Their Lives on the Line. The report says women facing threats of violence range from rights activists, politicians, lawyers, journalists, and teachers, and even policewomen. U.S. President Barack Obama is rejecting a call by Israel that any final nuclear agreement with Iran include a clear and unambiguous Iranian commitment of Israel's right to exist. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu issued the demand Friday while strongly criticizing a framework nuclear agreement reached by Iran and 6 other nations. He says the agreement threatens Israel's survival. President Obama discussed that issue during an interview Monday with National Public Radio. He called the agreement with Iran a good deal that was reached through what he called tough, principled diplomacy. South Korea has denounced a move by Japan to approve new middle school textbooks, referring to a disputed set of islands in the Sea of Japan by the Japanese name only. The South Korean Foreign Ministry Tuesday released a statement saying the textbooks distort history by claiming the disputed islands are Japanese without explaining the history of the conflict over them. U.S. Secretary of Defense Ashton Carter arrived in Tokyo as part of a week-long trip to the Asia-Pacific. VOA Pentagon correspondent Carla Babb is traveling with the secretary as he focuses on promoting the U.S. military's rebalance to the region.
Secretary Carter aims to support allies Japan and Korea while reiterating the U.S. commitment to the so-called Asia-Pacific rebalance, which involves shifting more political and military weight to a fast-growing region. Carter's trip, which includes stops in Tokyo, Seoul, and a visit to U.S. Pacific Command headquarters in Honolulu, Hawaii, comes as the U.S. and China compete for influence among Asian nations. Carla Babb, Tokyo.
World Bank President Jim Yong Kim says he will do everything possible to work with a new Chinese-led Asian infrastructure investment bank to fight poverty. The United States opposes the new bank, but dozens of other nations support it. And in a speech in Washington Tuesday, Kim urged the new bank to adhere to high standards for dealing with environmental and labor issues. The VOA Somali service has learned the Kenyan government has frozen the bank accounts of 86 entities and individuals it suspects of financing terrorism. The reported move is designed to choke the flow of money to the Islamist terrorist group Al-Shabaab. All 86 were also put on a government watch list. Checking markets on Wall Street, U.S. stock indexes down today. European markets up. Asia markets on Tuesday also up. I'm Dave DeForest in Washington.
That's the latest world news from VOA.